If you're in the market for a retail point-of-sale solution, you may have come across open-source POS software in your research. On the surface level, it may seem like a good option for your small business, specifically because it's free. So, is it worth it? In this video, we'll dive into open-source POS software and answer this question. Let's start with establishing some important terms. Retail POS software is what businesses use to manage inventory, schedule staff, process payments, and more. It's the heart and soul of all modern retail operations. There are many solutions on the market, and each software has an entire development team behind it, tasked with making updates and improvements over time. Open source software is any software created collaboratively by a community rather than designed and provided by a software vendor. Aside from the fact that it is generally free, some of the draws of open source POS software is that you can modify or enhance the software as you see fit if you have the skill set to do so. Don't get too excited. While it's a low-cost option, open source software comes with several risks. Let's dive into a few things you should be aware of. The first and most important risk is security. Your POS software handles a great deal of sensitive customer data. It stores customer payment information such as credit card numbers, and a loyalty program may track birthdays, mailing addresses, and phone numbers. If you use open source software, it's important to note that the communal element doesn't end with design. Maintenance is managed by the community as well, and when a vulnerability is discovered in the software, it's listed on public databases. The purpose of this is to alert other users of the vulnerability, but there are others looking out for this information too. Hackers monitor open source community updates, waiting to learn about a vulnerability they can take advantage of. Should a hacker gain access to your POS system data through their attack, they can get a hold of your customer's sensitive information. This isn't a good place to be in, of course, so consider the lack of security tied to open source software. If you want to keep your customers' trust, you need to make sure their information is secure. Another risk of open source software is related to maintenance. Your POS software will require some level of maintenance, regardless of whether you choose commercial or open source. Bug fixes, software updates, and other routine adjustments are part of maintenance for any software solution. The question then isn't whether or not your software solution will need maintenance, it's how difficult that maintenance will be to perform. When you have commercial software, its team operates based on the expectations of their organization, generally resulting in a stable product with consistent code and development. On the other hand, since open source software is developed by a community of volunteers, their skill level and dedication can vary. There is no centralized authority holding those volunteers accountable to any specified level of quality. This often means that the back end of open source software looks messy, and developers will have to sort out a tangled web of components before they can even touch routine maintenance. Wading through this can take twice the time you expect it to, resulting in additional technical fees to whoever is installing the update. It can also result in downtime in your retail POS software, which will cost you sales. The final risk worth discussing is a lack of warranties. When you work with commercial POS software, you'll often get a warranty, serving as a guarantee that it will function as advertised. If it doesn't, the software provider promises to fix or replace that solution. With open source software, there are no warranties. If things aren't working properly, warranties often offer a refund, but your open source software was free, remember? So what's the risk of not having a warranty on a free product? A warranty is more than a refund. It's a guarantee of service. Operating without a warranty opens you up to more risk than just losing out on a refund. It means the software you're running on hasn't received a rubber stamp of approval from any centralized authority. The software may fail at any time, and when it does, the only person on the hook for those consequences is you. When you choose open source software, you're choosing to go at it alone. No one is guaranteed the software will work as you need it to, or that it complies with software licensing requirements. So, it's time to answer the question at hand. Is open source POS software worth it? We think not. When you're choosing a retail point-of-sale solution for your small business, you want to make sure it's backed by a reputable provider. You need your software to be secure, up-to-date, and able to perform the business tasks that you need it to. If you have any questions or you want to learn about our retail POS solution, reach out to sales@posnation.com. Thanks for watching.